All right, let's talk about a huge hidden problem that so many businesses face. It's that quiet drag on productivity that happens when your most important software applications just don't talk to each other. We're going to dive into how to fix that.
So I want you to really think about this for a second. Are they? You've probably got one system for your people, your HR, another one for sales, maybe something custom for projects. They're all packed with vital information. But if they're not sharing it, if they're not in constant communication, then the answer is probably a big, frustrating no.
And you know, this digital silence, it causes some real pain. You get these things called data silos, where critical info is just trapped inside one application, totally isolated. And that leads to what? Endless, mind-numbing manual data entry. And we all know that's not just slow, it's a recipe for mistakes. The end result is always the same: major bottlenecks that just grind your whole business to a halt.
But what if you could build a central hub, a single place to connect everything together? Well, that is exactly where Oracle Integration Cloud, or OIC as we'll call it, enters the picture.
Honestly, this is the absolute best way to think about it. OIC is like that universal translator from sci-fi movies, making sure that what one system says is perfectly understood by another. And at the same time, it's the air traffic controller, directing all that information, making sure it gets to the right place at exactly the right time, with no collisions.
So here's the bottom line. OIC is built to be the central nervous system for your entire IT world. And it really doesn't matter if your apps are in the cloud like Salesforce or Oracle's own ERP cloud, or if they're still running on servers in your own building. OIC's job is to connect to all of them and manage the conversation.
Okay, so we get the what? It's a central hub. But how does this thing actually work? Let's pop the hood and take a look at the engine that's driving all of this powerful automation.
Imagine you have this amazing toolkit for building bridges between your apps. First up, you've got adapters. These are basically pre-built plugs for all the popular software out there, so you don't have to start from scratch. Then you design the integration flows. This is the blueprint, the actual logic for what happens to your data as it moves. The connections are what securely hold the passwords and keys to each application. And finally, you get this beautiful monitoring dashboard, which is your command center, giving you a live look to make sure everything is running smoothly. And pretty much every integration you build follows the same simple 5-step dance. It all kicks off with a trigger. Maybe a new employee is hired, or a new sales order comes in. OIC then uses an adapter to extract the data, it transforms it into the right format for the destination system, and then it routes it there. And the final, crucial step, it waits for a response to confirm that the job is done and logs everything. It's a clean, reliable, and repeatable process, every single time.
Okay, that's the theory, right? It sounds cool, but let's get into the real world. Let's look at a few concrete examples of how OIC is solving actual business problems and creating some serious value.
First on our list is a classic headache: tracking labor costs. The challenge is just getting the hours people worked from the HR system, say HCM Cloud, over to the project management system. You need it to bill clients and track budgets accurately. The OIC solution? A totally hands-free, automated flow that syncs this data perfectly. No human intervention required.
And here's what's happening behind the curtain. The HR system spits out the time card files, IOC's watching, and it immediately grabs them, preps the data, and uses a special purpose-built connector to load the costs right into Oracle projects. Then, it gets a little signal back, confirming everything went well, and the loop is closed. And the result? No more error-prone spreadsheets, no more copy and paste mistakes, just accurate data.
Okay, here's another one you see all the time. Maybe a company uses SuccessFactors for recruiting, but their main HR system is Oracle Fusion HCM. The challenge is making sure employee data, like new hires, promotions, you name it, is perfectly consistent across both. OIC just handles this with a simple, scheduled integration that acts as the single source of truth.
And the process is actually way simpler than you might think. SuccessFactors just leaves a data file in a secure shared folder, like a digital Dropbox. OIC is constantly checking that folder. As soon as a new file appears, it swoops in, grabs it, reshapes the data to fit the Oracle HCM format, and then uses a modern API to update the records. It's essentially an automated, super reliable data steward working for you 24/7.
For our last example, let's talk about customer experience. A customer calls in with an issue, and a service request gets logged in your main system. The big challenge is getting that request over to your field service team fast so they can dispatch a technician. The last thing you want is a delay. Well, OIC automates this whole thing, making it happen in real time. This is so powerful because it creates amazing visibility. The second that service request is created, bam, OIC creates a task for the field service team. But it gets better. OIC doesn't just forget about it, it keeps listening for status updates, like technician on the way or job complete, and it feeds that information right back into the main system. Instantly, everyone from the call center to the dispatcher is on the same page.
So, after looking at all these examples, what's the big picture here? Let's zoom out for a second. Why does having a tool like OIC really truly matter for your business?
It really boils down to these 4 massive benefits. First, you eliminate that soul-crushing manual work, which frees up your smart people to do more valuable things. Second, you dramatically increase your data accuracy because you have one version of the truth. Third, you get real-time visibility into what's actually happening across your business. And maybe most importantly, you build a system that can scale. You can grow your business without having to just hire more people to do manual data entry.
And that really brings us to the final question, the one I want to leave you with. Just think about your own daily work for a second. Think about those spreadsheets that get emailed around, that data that gets copied and pasted from one screen to another. Which one of those processes is just screaming out to be your company's next great automation success story?